3 weeks after I moved in, I heard the screech of tires on gravel right outside my gate. Black SUV, for strangers, all business. The HOA logos on their jackets practically burned holes in my retinas, and I could see the $50,000 fine notice before they even said a word. They looked at me like I'd just snatched the crown jewels of the whole community, just because I'd managed to buy a piece of land they'd been trying to get their hands on for ages. One of them actually smirked. "Pay up or get out." That was the message. I didn't say a word, just smiled back, thinking, you picked the wrong guy, friend. This war isn't going to be fought in some stuffy meeting room. It's happening right here, on my dirt. You want to guess who's going to win? Yeah, me. But let me back up a sec. My name's Ethan Cole. I used to design sustainable buildings up in Seattle's tech corridor, living the kind of life that runs on tight schedules and endless rain. That was before Emily, my wife for 12 years, lost her fight with cancer 6 months ago. After she was gone, Seattle just felt like an endless gray tunnel of hospital visits and what-ifs. But Emily had this dream, always talking about a quiet cabin by a lake, somewhere the air tasted like pine needles and you could see the stars at night. After she passed, that dream haunted me. It felt like the last promise I could still keep for her. So, when I stumbled onto 2.5 acres of lakefront in Colorado, priced way below market, 180 grand for paradise, I jumped, even though the whole thing felt a little too good to be true. The seller said it was pulled from the county development plan. Lucky break, I told myself. For 3 days, it actually was. The land was exactly what Emily described, towering old pines. The lake so clear you could spot trout cruising 20 feet down, and every sunrise painted the water gold. I started drawing up cabin plans, solar panels, and geothermal heating, the whole eco package. Living in a trailer, just me, my blueprints, and the quiet. Honestly, it was the first peace I'd felt in months. Then the HOA descended on me like a pack of corporate locusts. Leading the charge was Clarissa Wynn. Imagine a helmet of blonde hair and a smile so sharp you'd swear she was about to lay off half the company. Her 3 goons looked like they'd come straight out of an intimidation specialist catalog. Clarissa had a violation notice with enough stamps and seals to make the Declaration of Independence look amateur. "Mr. Cole," she purred, as sweet as antifreeze. "You're disrupting our 5-year community development plan. Immediate remediation is required." Her so-called violation listed $50,000 in environmental and planning fees, demanded I join their HOA. Never mind my land was outside their boundaries. I kept my cool, running the legal math in my head. "That's fascinating," I said, keeping my voice steady. "Because I read the county records. This land's outside your jurisdiction. There's no legal way for you to fine me for anything." Clarissa's smile froze, but her eyes turned arctic. "Boundaries can be adjusted, Mr. Cole, when community interests are at stake." For 20 minutes, she spun legal fantasy while I pointed out every hole. She said they'd expanded their jurisdiction, just hadn't filed it yet. The 3 suits said nothing, just glared like backup singers in a mob movie. When they finally left, Clarissa handed me her card. Legal department info, 48 hours to comply, or stronger measures. As their SUV pulled away, I noticed a drone buzzing overhead, camera pointed straight at me. That's when I knew, these people weren't here to talk. They were here to run me out, and they'd do whatever it took. Standing there in the Colorado sunshine, I had 2 options, pack up and leave, or dig in and fight. I picked fight. Yeah, that happened. First thing, I did what engineers do best, research. I spent hours with coffee and county records, HOA bylaws, Colorado statutes. No sign of any legitimate boundary change. No votes, no filings, no nothing. Their entire claim was smoke and mirrors, a $3 bill with a wax seal. But knowing I was right wasn't enough. I needed proof. Lucky for me, I'd spent years designing drone systems for forest monitoring. Had 3 high-res drones, thermal sensors, cameras, enough surveillance to catch a raccoon stealing a sandwich. If Clarissa wanted to play, I was going to document every move. Next, I drafted a cease and desist letter, professional, legalese heavy, sent copies to every address tied to their operation. The look on the receptionist's face when I walked in was priceless. Within 24 hours, I got a new threat, this time pretending to be from urban planning, demanding a $5,000 environmental assessment fee, threatening to freeze my accounts. But when I called the county, they'd never heard of it. Total fabrication. Meanwhile, my drones caught Clarissa trespassing 3 times, measuring distances, snapping photos, making notes. She was gathering data for something bigger, and I started to see this wasn't just about me. So, I did what anyone would do. I uploaded a 15-minute expose to YouTube. HOA threatens me with fake $50,000 fine. Here's the proof. I walked viewers through every step, showing their fake documents, Clarissa's threats, and legal evidence. Within hours, it went viral, 50,000 views, then 2.8 million. People came out of the woodwork sharing horror stories, lawyers weighed in, advocacy groups reached out. For the first time, I wasn't alone. But Clarissa fought back. Late Sunday, I got an anonymous tip. Clarissa had done this before, to a veteran in Texas. The email vanished before I could download the documents. The next morning, Clarissa hit me with a deep fake, a video of me agreeing to pay the fines, join the HOA, the works. The voice, the scar above my eyebrow, all of it. Neighbors turned on me overnight. The hardware store wouldn't sell me nails. People called me a liar, a scammer. Sitting alone that night, I almost caved. Almost. Then I remembered Emily, her hand in mine, saying, "Promise me you'll fight for what's right, even when it's hard." That snapped me out of it. I called Marcus Reed, an old grad school buddy who'd gone into AI forensics. "Send me the footage," he said. In 48 hours, Marcus ripped the deep fake to shreds, metadata errors, lighting glitches, timestamps, all wrong. Bulletproof. I walked into Clarissa's office, handed her the forensic report. "Let's talk about federal crimes, Clarissa." She went pale, denied everything, but her hands shook. As I left, my phone buzzed. Robotic voice warning me to back off or Marcus's sister would face serious financial problems. Clarissa was playing hardball. The next day, I found a fake state checkpoint at my driveway. Official-looking uniforms, spelling errors, fake IDs, demanding a $5,000 inspection fee. I photographed everything, called the real authorities. They were furious. Government impersonation is a felony, and I had all the evidence. So I filed a full complaint, stacking up fake fines, deep fakes, government impersonation. Now, the Attorney General's white-collar division was on the case. Then things got personal. Utilities cut off, internet sabotaged, each company claiming they got orders from state agencies. It was psychological warfare. And when I dug into public records, it all clicked. Clarissa was also the community relations director for Pinnacle Development, which wanted to build a luxury resort on the exact land I'd bought. She was a $300,000 a year fixer, clearing the way for a 200-villa golf resort by any means necessary. That Sunday, I found a note on my door. "Some dreams are too expensive to keep. Smart people know when to walk away." 48 hours. Signed with a looping C. That was it. I wasn't just fighting for Emily's memory. I was up against a criminal machine. That night, my storage shed went up in flames. Arson. But my cameras caught everything. A figure with a gas can, baseball cap pulled low, thermal signature, and, when he slipped up, a full-face shot. It was Robert Wynn, Clarissa's husband, with a record for property destruction. Monday morning, FBI Special Agent Victoria Hayes called. They'd been building a case against Pinnacle for months. Money laundering, fraud, the works. My evidence was the missing piece. Turns out, Clarissa, real name Claire Watson, had run the same scam in Texas, targeting a vet named Tom Bradley, who just happened to be Marcus's brother-in-law. She'd destroyed dozens of families across multiple states. The FBI set up a sting. I'd pretend to give up and sell, wearing a wire. The night of the deal, 20 agents ring my cabin. Clarissa arrived with her whole intimidation circus, trying to get me to sign for $30,000 less than I paid, babbling about fake remediation costs. She couldn't help herself, bragged about schemes in other states, the deep fakes, the resort plans. That's when the FBI swarmed, night vision goggles and tactical vests, shouting FBI. Nobody moved. Clarissa's face, pure disbelief, then terror. Her thugs dropped to the ground. She was arrested for conspiracy, wire fraud, racketeering. Simultaneous raids took down the Pinnacle CEO and CFO. Robert Wynn was cuffed with evidence of arson. After all that noise, I stood on my property, finally breathing easy. But Agent Hayes warned me, these networks have backup plans. 6 months later, I watched Clarissa get sentenced to 12 years, and $750,000 in restitution. The room was packed with families she'd ruined. Tom Bradley, the Texas vet, got to speak. My friend Marcus's sister, Jenny, cried as justice finally landed. Colorado passed the Property Rights Protection Act, triple damages for fraudulent HOAs, jail time for faking government authority. Other states started copying it. Neighbors who'd shunned me now pitched in. Bob from the hardware store, Mrs. Patterson with casseroles. Marcus moved out to start a digital forensics shop helping HOA victims. The cabin Emily dreamed about finally rose beside the lake, every sunrise lighting up the windows just like she imagined. A bronze plaque in her wildflower garden. Emily's garden, where dreams take root. Now, I help the FBI bust real estate fraud across the country. Every family we save means another win against people like Clarissa. On the cabin's deck, sunrise painting the lake gold, I get a text. New case in Montana. HOA fraud, Native American land this time. I look at the water and know the fight never really ends. So here's what I learned. If someone's trying to steal your dream, don't fold, fight back. Find your people, trust your instincts, document everything, and never, ever underestimate the power of one person who refuses to give up. If this story got under your skin, drop a comment below. What's your take on HOAs, justice, or community? There's always another fight out there, and maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next person to stand up.